big work on the front. Sam Watson, the British champion, sitting in behind him. Mathieu van der Poel has moved up to fourth wheel. Van der Poel is on the wheel of Tadej Pogačar. It feels like things are starting earlier this year at the moment. We've got about 100 kilometres to go. Florian Demisch looks cool as a cucumber this Sunday afternoon as he gets to the top of the Molenberg.
But Tadej Pogačar himself is setting the pace on this climb now. We are in the centre of the cobbles here. There's plenty of crowds out. And this is it now. Tadej Pogačar, the World Road Race Champion, is accelerating up the Autogram of the second ascent of this iconic climb. Woutvanaert is following him there in the yellow jersey of Visma-Lease. But could this be the day for Belgium and for Woutvanaert? He's nicely on the wheel at the moment. Mads Pedersen with a little bit of work to do, a little bit of a gap to close. Remco Evenepoel is there. Look at this situation here. Look at the crowds at the side of the road. We are seeing Tadej Pogačar riding clear of almost everybody, bar Wout van Aert, who is rightly tucked on his wheel just now. Mathieu vanderpoel himself is being forced to chase this. He has got on his wheel just being gapped now. Actually, Remco Evenepoel and Mads Pedersen there a little trek as they just go through. I don't think this is Tadej Pogačar quite at full gas at the moment, but look at these 5 names here. The big 5 are coming to the fore. Is it going to be the big 3? Can Remco make it 4? Can Pedersen make it 5? Gaps opening up behind. Huge amount of work to do. Tadej Pogačar pushes on. Wout van Aert still on the wheel.
It's the big 4 here, Joe, and we've only got 2 or 3 kilometres from the top of this climb to the Paterberg, and I was just about to say, is Tadej Pogačar waiting the Paterberg to twist the knife? But hasn't pulled out a little gap. He had a little bit of a gap to Mathieu van der Poel a second ago. Van der Poel's managing to get back across, but he's putting the other riders under pressure right now. A lot of damage. I mean, Wout van Aert was straight on the wheel in the right position. He's been gapped now. It's just, I kind of look at it thinking, these feel to me like these 3, if they get committed to it, these 3 can certainly contest the finish between them if they go now. Wout van Aert has not got long to solve this problem.
Pogačar on the front in the rainbow jersey. We've got highs of over 20% on this climb. It's a very short one, but it's one of the steepest. Remco Evenepoel realises the threat of Tadej Pogačar. He wants to be the first one up this climb. He's in the centre of the road there. We've got all the fans leaning over the barriers here on this climb. All the phones are out. Everybody wants to capture this moment as Tadej Pogačar just comes through here. Seated acceleration here. Wout van Aert in the back of this shot here, as is Mads Pedersen, but they just haven't quite got enough to close the gap to these wheels. The rest of the chasing group there just at the base of this climb now. This Tadej Pogačar coming over the top in the lead position. On his wheel is Mathieu van der Poel. The tiniest of gaps back to Remco Evenepoel. Is this the move? Has Tadej Pogačar gone? Has the race win? Here we go with highs of 22%. The fearsome Koppenberg is upon us, and it's Tadej Pogačar leading up this climb. Mathieu van der Poel is on the wheel of the World Road Race Champion. Remco Evenepoel for Red Bull Bora Hansgrohe and for Belgium on his debut in this race. It's closing gradually on these leaders here. Running his own race here, we can see the Flanders flags flying in the wind as Pogačar still pushes on. He's not able to distance Mathieu van der Poel just yet. And the highs of over 22% here. It looks like the wind has dried out these cobbles, which is very, very favourable, of course, here. Tadej Pogačar still pushing on.
Tadej Pogačar and Mathieu van der Poel, Remco Evenepoel, who's chasing in that gap by himself, and then Mads Pedersen and Wout van Aert. We said they were the top 5, everyone did, and currently they are filling 1st to 5th place. The thing is, what order will they finish in? I cannot believe they just climbed the Paterberg in pretty much dry conditions and just basically ripped up it too. Tadej Pogačar does not rock Remco Evenepoel to get back on. He looked round, saw him nearly got on, and a big dig now coming in from Tadej Pogačar. They don't want him there, do they? 43k to go. Are we looking for this year's winner to come between these two, Alice? Tadej Pogačar doesn't launch the Pogačar rocket on any of these climbs, so maybe setting the pace ahead of him is his way of trying to draw that sting of the Slovenian here.
Yeah, definitely. It does look like he is pushing on at the moment. Pogačar, if he does want to attack, will know that he looks, I mean, you know, Van der Poel at the moment, normally a very smooth rider, does definitely look like he is giving this everything. So either he is trying to keep Remco away, or he is trying to put the pressure on Pogačar and see what he can do on this climb. But Pogačar's got a very good view of that at the moment, and I wonder if he will look to counter that, or if he's just going to use that as some knowledge, being able to see how Van der Poel is looking at this point in the race.
And Tadej Pogačar there taking the opportunity to look back and see if he can see Remco Evenepoel. He's worried about it. This is how things stand with 33k to go in this, the 110th edition of the Ronde van Vlaanderen. Tadej Pogačar and Mathieu van der Poel in the front of the race. Remco Evenepoel about 15, no, we can see now 9 seconds down on those two. Nearly a minute back, 53 seconds back. Mads Pedersen and Wout van Aert. That completes our top 5. The big 5 going into this race are in the top 5 as things stand. Yeah, they are on to the Oude Kruisberg, and of course when they go over the top they've got that second classified bit, the Rotonde extension as well. Mathieu van der Poel hanging on well. Dare I say it, Hutch, I don't know if you've noticed this or whether you agree with me, but it strikes me that it's Tadej Pogačar who keeps looking back. I'm not sure I've seen Mathieu van der Poel look back to check on the whereabouts of Remco Evenepoel. Pogačar, I think, is more nervous about Evenepoel than he is about, than Mathieu van der Poel is.
The danger of Van der Poel at this point is that Tadej Pogačar goes again, and I think that's that's really what he has to watch out for, is when Pogačar may not want to take this to a sprint.
Led by Wout van Aert, Mads Pedersen sitting on, and the crowd will be going absolutely bonkers for Van Aert here, won't they? We are coming into it right now. 1,500 metres long, of course, the Oude Kwaremont. A monstrous crowd up there, and they know what's coming because they've seen it before. Tadej Pogačar can see it up in front of him. Mathieu van der Poel on his wheel, ready. Pogačar lifts it again, just a little bit more. Van der Poel's still seated, though. So far today, Mathieu van der Poel has seemed to be able to keep up with Tadej Pogačar. Pogačar now goes into the cobbles, and we're now on to the Oude Kwaremont for the third and final time. Look at the gap already. Tadej Pogačar is putting him to the sword. Mathieu van der Poel's rocking and rolling. We saw this a year ago happen at this point. He's looking like he can do it again, but can Mathieu van der Poel get back to him? Tadej Pogačar is extending 4 bike lengths, 5, 6. We suddenly start to see the physical frame of Mathieu van der Poel cracking, but is he cracking mentally? Because he's turning it on. He's not even got out of the saddle yet, Mathieu van der Poel. He's keeping Tadej Pogačar in his sights. Alice, is that enough of a gap to win by at this stage? He is definitely not giving up. If anything, actually, I think he looks good, Van der Poel. It's going to be, well, we'll wait to see. That's the thing about the Oude Kwaremont, it carries on dragging. It's not like the Paterberg that has a very definite left-hand turn at the top. You know you're over the top of it. This is Remco Evenepoel a little bit further down, but the crowd are going absolutely wild for the Belgian time trial world champion. Mathieu van der Poel now in pursuit mode, but look how close he is to Tadej Pogačar. They're now going alongside the big party tent. The crowd is there in full effect, and it will feel like cyclocross for Mathieu van der Poel right now. Tadej Pogačar looking back. Now, I have to say, I've seen him look back twice so far, Alice. I think, I'm going to say this now, I'm not sure Tadej Pogačar is on as good a day as he was 1 year ago. He's just seemed a little bit more nervous today. into the Paterberg, the final classified cobbled climb of this year's 110th edition of the Ronde van Vlaanderen. And the man who is, well, some would say arguably the greatest racing cyclist of all time, Tadej Pogačar. Well, he's got a little way to go and a few more boxes to tick. But we are watching again, whether we like it or not, a Merxian ride by Tadej Pogačar. And today, Tadej Pogačar joins the Big Three club. He's done all the threes. He's only ridden 3 races this year. The thing is, he's won all of them. And he joins the club now that includes Johan Museeuw, Mathieu van der Poel, Fabian Cancellara, Tom Boonen, Eric Leman, Fiorenzo Magni and Achille Busse as the only men who have won 3 Ronde van Vlaanderen. Tadej Pogačar, in the jersey of the world champion, confirms what so many people knew. At the moment, he is the best classics rider on earth, and he takes his 3rd Ronde van Vlaanderen.
Van der Poel's perfectly positioned. Couldn't be better at the moment. Question is, when's the attack coming? 14% by maximum. And time. Oh, and Ryan, that is not exactly the perfect place for that to happen, is it? And not sure which of the Tudor Pro Cycling riders went down there. Was it Trentin? Climbers will have certainly wanted to be in prime position. And Mathieu van der Poel, I think, has been drawn out of the front of this peloton here. Time to get going. And that Molenberg just starts to ease a little bit with the arrival of the smoother tarmac and the arrival of Mathieu van der Poel up front. He's got company, and the company of one of the biggest and most important riders in this event, Florian Vermeersch. Settles in for a 3-up, but for how much longer? And this is a perfect scenario for Mathieu van der Poel. He'll be satisfied with the current situation. Other teams maybe a little less so. Mathieu van der Poel, great bike handling, great strength, great abilities up front now. Time to get going. Time to fix a few problems. Van der Poel coming past as they're on this track, albeit it's not a cobble section, but the riders from the early break will try and settle in for a very, very painful Van der Poel with the big pulls here. Right now, strong position developing for Mathieu van der Poel, albeit Van der Poel doesn't look like he's starting to break sweat just yet. Key rider in this event, the fulcrum around which all of the tactics are being played out today, is none other than the former world champion Mathieu van der Poel, looking to add Omloop Nieuwsblad to his palmares today. Looking good as things currently stand. Inside the final 30 kilometres of the opening Cobble Classic of the year, Mathieu van der Poel attacked out of the main peloton, hoovered up the remains of the early break of the day. Vermeersch was able to join with Mathieu van der Poel. Tim van Dijk also coming along for the party. They are now more than a minute clear of the main peloton at 6s and 7s. Sustained push from the Lotto Intermarché squad. Will they be able to get back in contention? To yo-yo a little bit in between sections. Powerful contribution from behind. Van der Poel maybe just saving a little bit of something. Aware that the 10 boss is coming, all 500 metres of it. Weather conditions a little bit testing and challenging. The windscreen wipers on the supporting cars telling the story. The intensity of the effort means that rain jackets not required. Indeed, sleeves not required for Mathieu van der Poel. He's made of stern stuff. Vermeersch, happy enough to set the tempo, but he knows what's coming, or at least what's likely to come. But it's inconceivable, really, that Mathieu van der Poel will ride up and over this one without making some sort of an injection. Or will it be a full-blooded effort to try and unseat Vermeersch? Here he goes. Van der Poel is leading them already. Van Dijk tries to respond. Vermeersch looks like he could be in a bit of a difficult position here. And Van der Poel moving clear, even before they come close to getting the church in sight. Cobbles now becoming more challenging. And Van der Poel just edges clear without even having to make an attack out of the saddle. Not so easy to do, of course, on glistening cobbles. Has to be an in-the-saddle effort. And Van der Poel moves clear without apparently not able to stay with Van der Poel, and by the time they look and make their way around that next bend, he's out of sight and potentially out of mind. He's gone up to the church and across the top, and the crowd are getting what they probably would have expected, an mvdp show. They need to do everything they can possibly do to get back on terms with Mathieu van der Poel. The race is disappearing off up the road, and it's going to take a superhuman effort to get back on terms with none other than, well, potentially the greatest classics man of his generation. On to the final major impediment to glory today for Mathieu van der Poel. The toughest climb of the day, but it is the last climb, and as such there'll be tender legs even for this man, approaching 200 kilometers of racing in his legs at this point, and the 980 meters of Bosberg, 400 of which is cobbled. All adds up to about 6% average and 11% at its maximum gradient. It is tough and challenging climb at the best of times, and it is at the end of a long tough day of racing. Nonetheless, that's a pretty fast time from Mathieu van der Poel. And remember, that was on wet cobbles as well, and it was from a man who was out front for an extended period of time, had done most of the legwork in that breakaway group. Steadier and time was always likely, and that's a pretty quick time nonetheless. One of the greatest classics men of all time. Van der Poel unconcerned about events in his rearview mirror. He is cruising to glory today. Well, in the past 9 years we've had 9 different winners. This man is making his debut in Omloop today and apparently going to make it 10 from 10. Aiming to win on his first road race day of the season. I tell you, only 2 riders in the past 40 years have managed this at Omloop Nieuwsblad. Dylan van Baarle did it, his fellow Dutchman, the most recent Dutch winner of this race in 2023, a certain woutvanaert, whose fortunes and career have been interwoven and intertwined with Mathieu van der Poel. He's just going to soak up the atmosphere, enjoy the experience. Hard work is done. now they can think about celebrating a successful start to the year for Mathieu van der Poel. Just under 5 hours of tough racing, arms in the air. Once again, it's Mathieu van der Poel.
Look at this, he's leaving his teammates behind. I'm out of here. I'm on a tune-up. I want to own this race and just about everything else out there. Pippa, this is remarkable.
Looking at Pogačar, fast and furious is what he does every day.
The pop that you heard that echoed back down through the mountain is Freddie de Verne, and this is Tadej Pogačar saying, do you know what, I could quite easily quite fancy a couple of minutes advantage by the end of today. Will he be taking it easy? No, because he wants to make make it quite clear to those who've been saying that this year Jonas Vingegaard's riding so well he could indeed be a major threat to Tadej Pogačar. I think he wants to put that to bed straight away. Tadej Pogačar is in control of his own destiny, and indeed the Palmares of just about everybody else rests on him. Poggy, 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 written on the road. Oi, oi, oi. Goodness me. He's eating mountains points at the moment, so it's probably a good job he's not a young rider anymore. That's the only jersey that's not going to be on his back by the end of today, by the looks of things.
But he's not
points,
old.
he's making a big one. KOM, he's KO'd everybody. Indeed GC, well gee whiz, we're going to see what he can do in terms of gap. And I imagine it's going to be absolutely enormous. It's 1 minute and 12 already, and he's not holding back even on this descent. He wants to remind himself what it's like to be in competition, if only with himself, right now. I tell you, Pogačar is going to get there first. Let's hope he doesn't go straight on. Even if he did and took a dip, he'd probably still get back on and win the day. Minute and 14. He's not going to do anything silly, but when he's got the opportunity, the thumb screws are going to get turned by this man, Pippa. The Tour of Switzerland. Chapeau, Tadej. Tadej Pogačar goes, and guess who he's got with him for company? Richard Carapaz. And where is Vacek? That's the big question. Still a little bit further behind. No
Carapaz.
time to waste, and away he goes. And Tadej Pogačar is now narrowed the gap to just 58 seconds, but there's only 7.9 kilometres of this day remaining. Clearly, he wants to make more than a statement. He wants to pay the team back for what they have done for him today, and he is absolutely on it. This is superb. Bauke Mollema now is being found by Pogačar. Now he finds for Vajka. Not a word passes between them. Through he goes. For Vajka will try and just stay with him, I reckon. Has a look behind, sees how much effort he needs to put in to be here, and in fact just gets left in the wake of this man. It's a wake-up call for everybody. He's on stellar form, Pippa, going towards the Tour de France, and he's greedy too, which is a good thing. And there comes a man who's just paces straight by you, and suddenly it's a bike length, it's 2 bike lengths, it's 3, it's 4, it's gone. Tadej Pogačar is going to crown off an amazing Tour de Suisse. Not always the most popular choice, I've got to say, as an approach race for the Tour de France, but chosen by Tadej Pogačar this year as opposed to the Dauphiné, because quite frankly he hasn't won this one and he quite wanted it. He's going to power by, and here we go. Whoa! Lenny looked the wrong way, didn't deliberately try and move over there. I think he was trying to move out of the way, but Pogačar went up the inside of him, sailed by. He'll cross the line as our champion here. Tadej Pogačar wins the 89th Tour de Suisse. Phenomenally so.